If you ask me, what do I need to do to become a software developer in the shortest amount of time possible, this is my answer. Stay tuned. So you've decided to become a software developer. You're looking at boot camps or you're thinking about going back to college, but you're like, man, what can I do to be a software developer in the shortest time possible? Well, here's my answer. And it's actually kind of a simple answer, is I would be the guy or girl who goes into the data layer, right? You're the person who can get the app to communicate with various databases. And I would say as many databases as you possibly can. And why am I saying that? Because the vast majority of universities seem to skip over this data piece of the pie. So you may go to university and you may learn bubble sort algorithms and recursion and big O notation and all these things, but you can't connect a database to an app. That doesn't help in the real world. Big O notation is really important, but if your app can't communicate to its database, what are we doing here, guys? So, what I tell you, you want to be a developer, get on some of these free courses. I'm going to give 2 really good examples of free courses that can start getting you jobs pretty quickly. The first one is Mongo University. I am not affiliated. I do not work for Mongo in any way, shape, or form. But Mongo University is one of the best resources out there. Even if you just went through all of their courses and watched the videos, you'd come out with such a great knowledge. But if you go through all of their courses, and I mean all of them, and specifically they have different development courses for like Java developers, Python developers, etc. You can go through all the exercises that they provide, and you're going to come out on the other side really, really proficient in Mongo. And Mongo even offers a developer certification. Another great resource out there is Redis University. Redis University is much the same way. I think that you would have to be a little bit more comfortable with like Node and JavaScript and things like that. But Redis University is going to provide you with so many things, and it's kind of, there is a lot of challenge in Redis University, a lot of things to overcome, especially if you want to go get any kind of certification there. And Redis is really important. Redis is really popular, and it's in demand. But guess what? There isn't any universities that I can think of that are teaching Redis. I don't think there is. If there is, please correct me. But I just can't point to one. And just between those 2 sites, you could probably start applying for jobs within a few months. And I'm not really exaggerating. Maybe quicker. If you're putting 10 hours a day into this stuff, you could be in there quicker. And bonus point, in the meantime, you could go be a DBA on some Mongo databases. You know, those DBAs are in high demand, and Mongo is taking off. Their company is growing like crazy, which means they have a ton of customers out there, which means those customers wouldn't mind having an on-site in-house DBA. I've known some Mongo DBAs. They're brilliant people. They're very intelligent. And the tools Mongo University provides is almost enough to be that brilliant. You're going to be so within striking distance. You'll at least be probably above a junior DBA by the time you get through with their courses. Redis is in super high demand. There are Elasticsearch is one that you don't see a lot of people with the skills. And I'm talking about the engineering side of Elasticsearch. So how to run queries, how to run aggregations, how to build out clusters, what to do with shards and what to do with replicas, and what to do when you have too much heap, you know, and what's the problem there. You can learn Elasticsearch and just go crazy. There are so many free SQL courses, or there are so many SQL resources out there for you to learn MySQL, one of the most popular databases ever, or Postgres. Postgres, they want you to adopt their database. They want you to be kind of their evangelist for their database. They have training resources out there for you. So there's a ton of things to go and learn, and you can be a DBA, which will put you into the industry and will put you in touch with the developers, and you'll get exposure to the concepts and the processes and the culture and the companies. And then if you still want to be a developer, which is great, then go do that. Because if you're the girl person who can connect the database with the app, you're in such high demand. These skills are so valuable. So that, you may not know how to do the bubble sort, right? Let the guy who went to Harvard or went to MIT, I guess, let him be the algorithm person. All right, he's valuable, he does his thing, but you are the database person. You can interact with that database, you can manipulate data, you can get data back in the app. You have an app that's struggling, and you get a good person in there who knows how to tune that query just right. All of a sudden, that app isn't struggling anymore. All of a sudden, your customers are 1,000 times happier. You're in demand. You're valuable, and you can show that. And you can go from your entry level $80,000 job to your next $150,000 job in time, because you are very valuable. Having been in tech for about 10 years now, I can't tell you how valuable a good data person is. And where does that lead, right? Does that lead into big data? You can become a data engineer. You don't have to have a degree to be a data engineer. Like, to be a data scientist, yeah, you see a lot of PhD level people in data science, but a data engineer, you're kind of like the infrastructure guy. You're kind of the guy who builds the bridges and maintains the roads so that the data scientist's trucks can move. Same with data, same with the database admin. You're a vital piece of the company, and I think you're in such high demand that your first job out the door, you could be demanding $80,000 a year. Maybe not, right? Maybe you want to go for 60 just to get your foot in the door for a few years. But if I were to tell someone what's the quickest path to be a DBA, learn that data layer. Learn everything you can about that data layer. And you're going to learn so many engineering and development concepts along the way that later on down the road, you can go ahead and be that, whatever kind of developer you want. If you're like, well, I really want to be a creative front-end developer, that's cool. Go do this back-end stuff for a few years, get that on your resume, and then start applying for these front-end jobs. Have a really cool portfolio that you can show them, and all they're going to see is developer, or all they're going to see is whatever you did at that previous company, and they're going to be like, wow, this person is of the high value. Looking at their portfolio, they are great. So why not hire them, right? It's all about value. It's all about what are you bringing to the company. And say you don't want to go down the back end, there are free ways. There's a ton of boot camps on Udemy if you just want to pay a little bit. And then Free Code Camp, not affiliated with any of these people, always a great option. There's always people hiring for simple front-end development. You may not make that much money though, so be wary of that. But yeah, if you can make some web pages, there's people hiring. There's always people hiring for this stuff. But again, you want to make more money, you want to be a real, I don't know if it's, real's the wrong word, right? You're a real developer no matter what you're making. But you really want to get your foot in the door, you want to make some big money, be that person who can interact with the data. There's just not a lot of people out there with that skill set, and a lot of the universities aren't teaching this. Some of the boot camps are. But not to if you had that DBA level knowledge and you were a developer, you'd be such a threat. You'd be making a lot of money doing this. So that's my advice. You want to get your foot in the door in development, that's the best advice I would have to give for you.